Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Hope all is well. Today we're going to be speaking about the different names of Hashem. And some very deep concepts connected to these names. So first, there's an obvious question. What does it mean that Hashem has different names? How could it be Hashem has different names? The first two commandments clearly demonstrate to us that Hashem is one. How could it be that God has different names? So to answer this, it's very simple. It's not a contradiction at all. Hashem is completely one, but He has different names. And to understand this better, we'll give an example to clearly indicate how a person could have different names, but yet still be the same person. Example of a teacher, a rabbi. He's a teacher. So when he's around his students, teaching his students, how do they refer to him? They call him rabbi, teacher, master, rabbi, whatever. And when he goes home to his children, what do his children call him? They say father, or in Yiddish, tati, or Hebrew, abba. So wait, I thought this is one person. This is the same person. How could it be? His students call him rabbi, but his children call him abba? Is he the same person or not? The answer is, of course he's the same person. But depending on his relationship, depending on who the other person is, the relationship the other person has with him, that's how they're going to refer to him. They are going to refer to him based off his relationship with them. But he's the same person. So too, how much more so do we have this with Hashem? We have different names to refer to Hashem, to refer to different ways in which Hashem expresses Himself in the world, different ways in which Hashem connects Himself to us within the world, and gives life to the world, or holds Himself back from revealing Himself, or the way Hashem reveals Himself, or the way He holds Himself back from being revealed. All these different names, all these different ideas are alluded to, not only alluded to, but are connected to the different names of Hashem. So of course, there are 72, we know there are 72 names of Hashem. And by the way, when we say Hashem, we're saying the name. We call Hashem the name because we don't even want to use Hashem's name in vain, which is also one of the commandments, not to use Hashem's name in vain. It's a very serious commandment. We're only allowed to use certain names of Hashem when saying the exact Bible verse, and there's specific ways how to pronounce it, and a person should become informed before just saying Hashem, the actual names of Hashem, because this could constitute saying Hashem's name in vain if a person, God forbid, isn't careful. But there's also different prayers where of course, we say Hashem's name, and there's different Bible verses where we say different names of Hashem. And different names of Jewish people actually have the name of God within them. So when you say the name of a person, you can say God's name within that name of the person. I'll give an example. My name is Shmuel. So within the name Shmuel actually means his name is God, about God. His name is God. Shemo, Kel. I say Kel because it's actually with a but I don't want to say it the actual way it is because it's not only if I say the name Shmuel I'm allowed to say it because it's the full name. But Shmuel means Shemo Kel. His name is God. That's what my name means. My name means His name is God. And the name Kel, Aleph Lamed, it means Hashem as He expresses kindness into the world. There's also Hashem's name Elokim, which represents how Hashem reveals strictness into the world. And it's not just how He expresses strictness into the world or how He expresses kindness, but to be more specific, the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Rebbe of Chabad, says it's not just how Hashem expresses Himself in the world, but it's the source of that expression as it is above, so to speak. It's a very deep concept. It's the source of Hashem's expression of kindness into the world, but as it is above. It's a very deep idea, something to meditate on. But yeah, we'll continue. But the main name I want to focus on today, and we're going to go into also another name afterwards. But the main name I want to focus on is Hashem's name Yud Kei Vav Kei. That is, I don't want to say the most famous, but might just very well might be the most famous name people know of when referring to God. I'm not sure about that though. But the name Yud Kei Vav Kei, that refers to Hashem as He creates the world, and yet as He's completely transcendent and above the world as well. There's two levels to it. It's Hashem as He gives life to the world, but while at the same time being completely removed and above the world at the same time. So this name of Hashem is divided into four parts, Yud Kei Vav Kei. And these refer to, actually the whole world is made with this encoding of Yud Kei Vav Kei. And it's 4 levels, but there's actually 5 levels. Because the highest level is divided into 2 parts as well, which we'll get into. But Hashem's name Yud Kei Vav Kei, the whole world is made in the image of God. When we say man is made in the image of God, what does it mean? Man is made in the image of God. Man is made with this Yud Kei Vav Kei encoded within him. Even our physical body is made in the image of Yud Kei Vav Kei. So what does this mean, Yud Kei Vav Kei? So Yud Kei Vav Kei, we've spent a lot of times speaking about the 4 worlds. So Yud Kei Vav Kei refers to the 4 worlds. Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya. It also refers to the 4 levels within the 4 worlds. Each world is divided into 4 levels, which within each. So let's say you have 4 worlds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Within one world, you have 4 sub-levels within each world. So basically, these can come into to help us understand this, and this also divides into the 4 / we actually have 5, and we're going to get into how actually the highest level is split into 2. So really, there's 5 levels, and really, our soul is also divided into 5 levels. This will be. I understand that this might be difficult for everyone to fully understand because it's very mystical. It's very Kabbalistic. It's Hasidus, but it's not going to be, we're going to make it clear, and everyone will actually be able to appreciate. We won't go so complicated into such complicated details. Everyone will be able to appreciate this, and especially you can always rewatch the video, because as the Rebbe Rashab says, when you learn something more than once, you get to the inner godliness within it. The first time learning something, you're just getting into the outer shell. So these 4 levels. So what are they? So we've spoken about this in videos before. The highest yud is that first flash of wisdom, that first flash of intellect, before you even understand the ideas. When you're learning something, you get this high level of, it's beyond intellect, it's that flash, it's the highest point of intellect. It's like the analogy of a light bulb. The light bulb goes off. You don't yet know what all these details will be, but you know you're going to understand it. It's the first step of intellect. That is the world of Atzilus, and that is the letter Yud. The next letter is the Hey. What's Hey? Hey is Bina, understanding intellect. As that flash comes down and you grasp it, there's a grasp on it. The higher level is not yet grasped. You feel it, you're aware, you're experiencing something in that level of Chokhmah, but you're not grasping it. Whereas the lower level, the Hey, is now you're grasping an idea. You can hold it in your mind. It's not above you, so to speak. It's not beyond you. It's not, it's not removed from you. It's grasped by you. Literally, what does grasp mean? To hold something. So when you grasp a concept, you have control of it. The next level is the Vav. And what is Vav? Vav is a Yud, but drawn down. The Vav represents drawing down. So what happens after you understand an idea? What happens? We've spoken about this in previous videos. Once you understand an idea, what happens? It gets drawn down into the emotions. The whole idea is once you understand something, it's supposed to come down and be internalized, and the emotions will be activated by it. That's the letter of Vav, which represents the world of Yetzira, and also connects to the level of our Neshama, which is Ruach. So all these different levels are intertwined with each other. That we have there's these 4 worlds, and there's 4/5 levels to our neshama, and there's 4 levels within each sub-world. Each world has 4 general levels to it, which represents the 4 general worlds within that world. These are very deep ideas, but we can all appreciate it just by remembering that there's this Yud Ke Vav Ke within each level. Very nice. So what's after Vav? After we said there's the flash of wisdom, and then we take it down into understanding, and then once you grasp the idea, it comes down the Vav into the emotions. What's next? Then it's the next Hey, the world of Asiya. What does Asiya mean? Action. Lasot. Lasois. To do. Action. Once you feel your emotion, you understood an idea so well that it activated a love and a fear of God within you. What happens next? Action time. Now is time to act. Then this letter Hey represents the world of action. The level of Neshama called Nefesh. The world of Asiya, the world of action. This is the world that we find ourselves in. We are in the lowest, so to speak, of all the worlds, the physical world. And this is the world where all these higher levels can come down and be internalized and thrown upon into the physical. Very nice. So that's the Yud Ke Vav Ke. Name of Hashem represents Hashem, because all of this is made in the image of Hashem. Now Hashem is not divided, Chas Hashem. Everything is one before Hashem. But as Hashem reveals himself into the world, it's through these 10 sfirot. And by the way, the name Yud Ke Vav Ke represents the 10 sfirot within each world. Because each world is made up with the sfirot. The sfirot are the inner coatings of each world. So the sfirot are very connected to the name Yud Ke Vav Ke. That the Yud Ke Vav Ke represents how Hashem creates a world with the sfirot. So this is very nice, but we said there's actually a 5th level. So is there 4 or 5? There's actually 5. And how could it be? The answer is at the Yud. we always said there's the highest level is will. Beyond even this level, even beyond even the high level of Chokhmah, which is the highest level of intellect, we've been saying this in our previous videos, there's a level beyond intellect altogether, and that is desire, that is will, and that's the level, it's also called Keter. And what is Keter? It means crown. And that is, if you look at the Yud, if you look at the letter Yud, there's a little crown at the top. There's a point. There's a corner. So it's like a crown, a point, a little tip, a little point at the top of the Yud, and that is the letter of, that is Keter, that is above the Yud. It's the crown, and that represents the level of desire, the level of will, the level of ratzon, wanting something. When you will something beyond desire. And it's interesting that we started off with the 4 levels and then we came up to the highest level. And that represents the level that a person has of a connection to Hashem that's completely beyond logic. And we've spoken about this in previous videos, of course, that this is like the parents, of course, the ideal parent who loves their child beyond logic. Also when a person, when a person has a dream and he has a desire to accomplish something, and everyone's telling you, no, you can't do it, it doesn't make sense, and all the calculations are off, you'll never succeed, but deep down the person doesn't care, he has the desire. Even if all the calculations tell me I'm going to fail, I will power through. That is the level that's completely beyond intellect, and that's the crown of the Yud. And that connects to the world, you could say, connects to, of course, there's many different levels, even above the world of Atzilus, there's many intermediary levels between the infinite Or Ein Sof, the infinite light, and Atzilus. That's very deep ideas, and that's not the purpose of this video. That's a whole topic of its own, so it won't be practical to go into all the little details of the worlds above Atzilus, in between Or Ein Sof. But we could say that the crown of the Yud represents all the levels above Atzilus, but mainly it represents Or Ein Sof, it represents Hashem himself. Also, we could say it represents even higher than that, Etzem, Hashem himself. Because, as you know, our soul is rooted. Our soul is rooted from Hashem's Etzem. What does Etzem mean? Our soul is rooted from Hashem himself. Our soul, the innermost part of our soul, is from such a high place that it's from a higher place. It was never created. We can't say that the deepest point of our soul was actually created. Rather, the deepest point of our soul has always been. Really, who you really are, has always been. You're not actually a creation. Your body has been created. Your emotions, your thoughts have been created. But who you really are, at your innermost point, the etzem, the essence of who you are, has always been. Why? Because it's a part of God, and God has always been, and God is one. So the innermost part of your soul is a part of God, and that's the little crown at the top of the Yud. So, we said we're going to speak about another name of Hashem. The other name of Hashem is Elokim. Elokim is how Hashem hides himself and encloses himself within the world. So, these 2 names of Hashem represent how Hashem either is revealing himself to the world or enclosing himself in the world. But the whole idea is that on the Beis Hamikdash, the place of the Holy of Holies, at that point, radiating out words, the name Elokim doesn't hide the name Havaya at all. Hashem's meaning, what does this mean? Hashem put his power into the world to hide himself. But at this level, at this point, he doesn't hide himself anymore, and he's completely revealed throughout the physical. Normally, at first glance, the physical has a way of hiding godliness. There's physical, and then deeper and above, there's spirituality. Okay, fine, even within the physical, there's spirituality, but it's hidden. But Hashem says no. The ultimate purpose is actually that not just that there'll be spirituality within the physical, no, but the spirituality will be revealed through the physical. That actually through the physical you'll see the spiritual, and that's the ultimate goal. And that's why we say Hashem hu Elokim. We say that, especially on the high holidays, we say it out loud. Hashem hu Elokim. We say Hashem. Hashem is, as he's completely above the physical, as he's completely revealed and beyond any hiddenness, he is the same as he is in this world when he's hidden. Meaning, Hashem is completely one. There's nothing other than Hashem. There's nothing other than the Creator. Therefore, no matter what we experience, even if we experience a hiddenness of God, there's nothing other than God, and rather it's a revelation of God. Because if I go like this, I'm hiding myself, but you still see me. I'm not actually hiding myself. Why? Because I'm hiding myself with myself. Therefore, so too, when Hashem hides himself in the world, there's nothing other than him. So really, his hiddenness is a revelation. As we know, the only reason why Hashem is hiding himself is to set the stage for the ultimate revelation, just like a surprise party. The fact that the person doesn't know that there's going to be a surprise party, and then you surprise him, that sets the stage for such a great celebration. So too, Hashem is waiting to surprise us with the days of Moshiach, maybe today. And to end off, just because we spoke about all these deep ideas of many names of God, the Baal Shem Tov, there's a very interesting story of the Baal Shem Tov. When he was 16 years old, he was meditating about the unity of the different names of Hashem. And then he came to a point where he was doing such deep meditation that, boom, automatically, Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet, appeared to him. And he's like, wow, you did well, my son. You meditated so well on the names of God that you activated the prophet Elijah to come visit you. He goes, but I want you to know that Hashem gets even more pleasure from the simple Jews reading Tehillim, serving him. Simple, of course, this applies to anyone who wants to serve Hashem, righteous Gentile as well. So we see that we see something very interesting, that this is very relevant to this video, because a person may feel, all these names of Hashem, they're so deep, they're so above me. It's true, they sometimes can be above us, but no, we have to know that with Hashem will give us the strength to understand it, and this stuff is easy to understand. It just takes focus and takes reviewing the different names of Hashem, the different levels, and then it flows very easily. But the main thing that the Baal Shem Tov story teaches us is that it doesn't matter if you understand all these deep ideas. That's great. It's great if you do. But it doesn't matter. Hashem gets more pleasure from your simple service of Him than from any deep level of understanding. Hashem is more interested in action. Hashem is interested in our heart. What is our desires? A person could know all the deepest levels of Torah, but his heart is not in the right place. Whereas a simple Jew may not know all the deep details, but he's interested in Hashem, and his service is way deeper. So we should know that no matter what level we're at, we have the ability to be simple servants of Hashem. Simple servants, like children in the presence of the King of Hashem. And when we do that and we serve Hashem in an innocent, simple way, it arouses incredible mercy upon us and the entire world and brings down tremendous light. May Hashem bless you. May you experience the days of Moshiach today.